Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank my member of opposition for his astoundingly heartfelt and very pointed comments against the government's proposition to subsidize housing. And I think he did a very good job explaining the fact that self-reliance is more important than the government paying for everything, and that this self-reliance is in fact the American dream. He also explained astoundingly that regulation is in fact the appropriate way to deal with problems in the with people paying for their housing, and that by regulating it, we get rid of the exploitative loans. We get rid of the possibility of people buying houses that they cannot possibly afford. And lastly, he also did an amazing job at explaining the fact that bureaucracy is in fact the problem with subsidization. And allow me to add a couple of things there. We already know that the system is broken, and I don't think that paying more money is going to help it in that way. So throwing money at a problem is never going to be helpful. So I just want to look at a couple of points that the government made. One more point about the stimulation of economy that was missed, but I thought it was worth mentioning. The idea that by allowing people to build new homes, that this is great for the builders, great for the people who are living there. Sure, it sounds great on paper, but the problem is that if you try and pay for a house that you can't afford, right, the bank ends up owning your house. And we have the difficulty of builders don't really make out that well here. I mean, look at how terrible the construction companies are doing right now, because no one wants a home because everyone's getting kicked out of theirs. And so, of course, there's a huge amount of loss associated with this fact. And in fact, this hurts the economy more than anything else. I would also like to discuss the idea that the government subsidizing things makes them less meaningful, and that's not true. Well, in a way, yes, it's true. The government subsidizing things doesn't make it any less meaningful. But still, it does make it less meaningful in some ways. By paying for everything, people don't rely on themselves. This is the point about the American dream that I was mentioning yet again, that people should own what they can afford to pay for, and that by allowing the government to help pay for the things that they want, the people aren't really getting the things that are best for them. It ends up being other people who can perhaps already pay for their own homes, paying for someone else's home. And this isn't really in their interest, certainly not at all. And it's not in the bank's interest, because as we said, look at all of the companies that have been doing terribly because of these exploitative loans. And it's certainly not in the interest of the people who are buying the houses, because, as I said before, they end up in kind of a niche where the government is always helping them and always doing things for them, which ends up being inefficient and, quite frankly, immoral. And that would be all.